Welcome back to Paranormal League Ohio podcast, the podcast where we explore the unexplained, the forgotten, and the stories that continue to haunt people long after the sun goes down. Sorry if my voice sounds hoarse. I'm not feeling too well. It's been a couple days and it just keeps getting worse. But I'm going to give you guys your content. And tonight is the first episode of the Urban Legends. And I've already done an episode on the Black-Eyed Children, but I kind of went deeper into it. So tonight's episode centers on one of the most unsettling urban legends of the modern era. No chains rattling, no ghostly apparitions, no monsters lurking beneath your bed. Instead, they knock at the front door. You open it to find two children standing on your porch. They're polite, impeccably calm. They ask to come inside. Then you notice their eyes. They're completely black, no whites, no pupils, just endless darkness. What are the Black-Eyed Children? And why do so many people report feeling overwhelming terror before they ever see those eyes? Turn off the lights, because tonight we're uncovering the truth behind one of the internet's most enduring paranormal mysteries. The beginning of the legend. Unlike legends that date back centuries, the Black-Eyed Children phenomenon appears to have a surprisingly modern origin. The story gained whispered attention in the late 1990s after journalist Brian Bethel described an encounter in Texas. According to his account, two boys approached his car while he was parked outside a movie theater and asked for a ride, so they could supposedly retrieve money to buy tickets. Something felt instantly, fundamentally wrong. Before they could step into the vehicle, Bethel noticed their eyes, solid black. In a sudden panic, he slammed the car into gear and drove away in fear. His story spread like wildfire online, inspiring countless others to come forward with similar horrifying experiences. But were these independent and genuine reports, or simply stories deeply influenced by a rapidly growing internet legend? Most reports follow nearly identical rigid patterns across the globe. The children usually appear between 8 and 16 years old. They often wear outdated, plain, or unusual clothing that doesn't fit the current era. Witnesses consistently describe their speech patterns as strangely formal, missing the typical cadence of modern children. Many say the children insist they must be actively invited inside a home or vehicle, and almost every witness reports feeling an overwhelming sense of existential dread before realizing anything is possible. That is my dog Bluebell. She barks at everything. Visibly wrong with the visitors. The most chilling detail, the children rarely force entry. Then, they ask permission. While skeptics dismiss these accounts as modern folklore, researchers focus heavily on specific, documented primary testimonies that built the entire history of the phenomenon. The foundational 1996 Texas account. The first fully documented report comes directly from journalist Brian Bethel in Abilene, Texas. While sitting in his parked vehicle under the dim lights of a theater parking lot, he was approached by two seemingly ordinary teenagers. The boys spoke in an unnervingly mature, monotone cadence, insisting they needed a ride to their mother's house to collect ticket money. Before ever looking directly at their faces, Bethel reported being hit with a sudden wave of irrational, paralyzing panic. When he finally caught a clear view of them in the dashboard light, he realized their eyes were entirely void, lacking any visible irises or scleria. When he panicked and pulled away in reverse, the children instantly vanished from the open area. The Vermont winter incident. Another frequently analyzed terrifying historical report occurred in rural Vermont during a heavy blizzard. An elderly couple heard 3 aggressive knocks at their door late at night. Upon opening it, they found a young boy and a girl standing unprotected in the freezing snow, refusing to make direct eye contact, and formally stating, "Our parents will be here soon. May we come in?" Driven by basic human compassion, the couple allowed them inside to sit on the living room sofa while the wife prepared hot cocoa. Instantly, the household environment altered. The family cats became violently panicked and hid, and the house suffered an abrupt power outage. When the wife returned to the room with a flashlight, she looked directly into their faces for the first time, seeing absolute pitch black orbs where their eyes should be. At the exact same moment, her husband began suffering a severe, sudden medical nosebleed. The entities calmly stood up, stated, "Our parents are here," and walked out into the blizzard toward a pair of abnormally tall figures waiting by a vehicle at the edge of the property line. Now we're going to talk about some theories of what the black-eyed children are. Theory number 1, demons. Some paranormal researchers believe that the black-eyed children are demonic entities, disguising themselves as kids to gain trust. The explicit invitation requirement reminds any investigators of ancient folklore involving vampires and other malevolent supernatural beings that cannot cross a threshold without direct permission. Theory 2, ghosts. Others argue that they may be restless, tragic spirits trapped between worlds, perhaps intentionally, appearing as children because that specific form is emotionally disarming to living hosts. Theory 3, aliens. Some UFO researchers have proposed extraterrestrial origins. They point to the emotionless behavior, the odd speech patterns, and the completely abnormal appearance of the eyes. Could they be something synthetic or non-human, trying and failing to accurately imitate humanity? Theory 4, a modern myth. Skeptics strongly point out that once a compelling story enters popular culture, human memory can be heavily influenced by suggestion and raw fear, can drastically reshape visual perception. The black-eyed children may represent an evolving piece of internet folklore rather than impractical empirical evidence of a supernatural phenomenon. Psychology of fear. Why do these stories affect us so deeply? Children fundamentally represent innocence, protection, and automatic trust. The black-eyed children legend systematically twists those exact human expectations. Psychologists call this the uncanny effect. When something appears almost perfectly human, but not quite it, produces an instinctive, deep-seated survival fear. We have a listener question that I have done black-eyed children forever. I've talked about them, I've studied them, I've researched them. I've had other episodes on them, and we have a listener question. If someone claiming to be a child knocked at your door in the middle of the night and calmly asked to come inside, would you let them in? Or would your survival instinct tell you something was terribly fundamentally wrong? Knowing what I know about the black-eyed children, I would never let them in, but I'm also human, and if I see a child in distress, then I'd probably let them in. I know my wife would. She would immediately see that it's kids and come on in, sweetheart, and then go on, so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that question. It's like yes and no. I know about the black-eyed children, but then it's a child. And human instinct would tell me to get them in here and keep them safe. Perhaps the black-eyed children never existed. Perhaps every single account has an ordinary, mundane explanation. Or perhaps somewhere tonight, someone is hearing a knock. Someone is opening the door. Someone is staring directly into a pair of eyes darker than any night. The truth may remain hidden in the shadows, but the stories continue. And as long as they do, the legend will live on. Thank you for listening to Paranormal Inc. Ohio podcast. If you enjoyed tonight's investigation, follow the show, share this episode with a fellow horror fan, a fellow paranormal investigator, or just somebody that you think would enjoy this. Send us your own personal paranormal experiences for a future episode if you want to be in one. Till next time, keep questioning, keep searching, and if two children knock on your door after midnight, look closely to their eyes. before you invite them in.